Hello guys, in this video we are going to be looking at English first additional language as we prepare for our upcoming term 2 um, doing examinations, right? So guys, these are the things that you need to understand and things that you need to use so that you can be able to prepare for your upcoming examination. So we know that in term 2, we cover both term 1 content as well as term 2 content. Okay, so now we need to learn about listening and speaking, right? And then once we are done with that, we will then move to reading and viewing. And then again, once we are done with that, we will then move to writing and presenting. And then once we are done with that, we will move to language structures and conventions. Okay, so now let's go back to listening and speaking. Let's go back to listening and speaking. So, listening and speaking, we can see that we have listening and speaking strategies, right? And then we also have listening comprehension from the novel. Remember, we have the listening process and the writing response, right? So we need to be able to read aloud. Um, that's what. So we need to be able to read aloud and extract from a novel, right? So we should be able to read aloud and extract from a novel, okay? And then we should also be able to note features and conventions, and we should also be able to use style, register, and vocabulary, and we should also be able to use textual context, right? We should also be able to use textual context. So here we can see that we have take tense and we also have use persuasion techniques. Okay. And then once we are done, we will then move to reading and viewing. So here we can see that we have literacy text like a novel, right? And here we need to understand things such as the key features of literature text, such as character, action, dialogue, plot, and conflict, right? And we also have background setting, narrator, and theme, okay? And then we also have different reading processes. We also have different reading processes. So we can see that we have pre-reading, wherein we introduce the text, right? And then we also have the during reading, wherein we have features of text. And then we also have post reading, wherein we answer questions, compare, construct, and evaluate, right? And then lastly, we have theme and message. Okay. The next, we have reading strategies for comprehension. We have reading strategies for comprehension. And then here we can see that we have the purpose and the target group. We have the make inferences. We have the give own opinion. And then we also distinguish between the fact and opinions. So guys, we should be able to know the difference between effect and an opinion. So we know that effect is a statement that is true. So if it's a fact, it means that that thing has actually happened, right? And then an opinion can be regarded as our views, right? What we think about something, but it does not necessarily mean that what we think is true, right? And then we also have direct and implied meaning, okay? And then once we are done, we will then move to writing and presenting. And then here we can see that we have descriptive essay based on a novel. Okay, and then we also have focus on writing processes. So we have different writing processes. So we can see that we have planning, we have drafting, we have revision, we have editing, we have proofreading, and then we also have presenting, right? And then lastly, we have language structures and conventions. Lastly, we have language structures and conventions. So here we can see that we have the world level work. We have the world level work, and we also have the sentence level work, and then we also have the word meaning, and then we also have punctuation and spelling. Okay, so now if we go back to word level work, we can see that we have adverbs of place and frequency, and we also have adjectives, right? So on adjective, we can see that we have um, comparative and superlative, and then we also have common and proper nouns, pronouns, personal, relative, reflexive, possessive, and conjunctions. Okay, and then on punctuation and spelling, we can see that here we focus on abbreviations, question mark, exclamation mark, full stop, and comma. So these are our different types of punctuations. So guys, these are the things that we need to understand when as we are preparing for our June examination. And don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel so that when we post new content, you will be alerted. Okay, so that we continue helping you prepare for the upcoming exam.